Now, let's invite our personal finance enthusiast, Mas Dani Rachmat, to talk about how to reinvest your initial investment for maximum growth. Mas Dani, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, talk to us about compounding, and then what we're gonna gain from compounding.
Yes, this is a very exciting concept. Compounding is the one that can accelerate the growth of our asset.
Okay.
So when talking about compounding, when you invest something, you expect profit from that, right?
Right.
Using the concept of compounding, you will get return from your investment, not only from the principal of your investment, but also from the principal added by the previous year's profit, and then you get the profit out of them, not only from the principal.
All right. So we're gonna see some example, and,
Yes.
and right here we have three companies, which is banking sectors.
Yes.
And then what are we looking at? We're looking at BCA, BRI, and BMRI, and what we're looking here, and the N, and the 1 year change, and then the dividends.
Yeah, we see several numbers here. The first column is dividend payout ratio.
Okay. So
Dividend payout ratio is meaning that how many of their profit they will disseminate to their shareholder as dividend.
All right, so
see-
we're talking, again, before we move on, we're talking about stocks here.
Stocks,
All right,
yes.
so people who buy the stocks, who own the stock of BCA, BRI, or Mandiri, when they actually making money, when they
making
have profits,
by the end of the year.
this is how much they're gonna share on.
Yeah.
All right, so
Towards
this is
to the dividend.
62.64%.
62.64%, meaning that out of 100 of their profit,
Okay.
they will divide 62.64 to their shareholders.
And then the rest of the
remaining,
money?
they will keep it and add it to their equity.
Okay.
They will use it for companies' further improvement.
Okay.
Yeah, so for BBRI, they divide like 80% of their profit to their shareholder, while BMRI is 58.97.
All right.
So we can see that
from this, I like the
the most generous one is BRI, of course.
Okay.
But
although it doesn't make sense for a company that big, why would you share that much?
yeah.
Okay.
So from the shareholder point of view, of course, I will love BRI because they
Share the most.
Yes, the most. But then, do I really like that the most? Because what we really want is that we want the company that we have also grow in the future, right? So from the shareholder point of view, I also don't want that my company is too generous to the shareholder.
Okay.
I want them to be able to bring themselves to increase their value
All right.
going forward. So that is the beauty investing in stocks.
All right. So
When we talk about investing in other instruments such as time deposit, we only get the compounding if we reinvest the interest that we get
if we
back
reinvest
to
it.
the deposit.
All
So
right.
here we have the dividend payout ratio, and also we have this dividend yield. Dividend yield meaning that this is the amount of percentage that you get out of the investment that you make in the terms of dividend. So the biggest one here is BRI, 7.32%. Of course, I will love this. But then, do I really love this? Because other than the dividend that we can reinvest, we also have to see the company itself.
Yes.
That is the compounding works in the stock market. Instead of we are investing our dividend, but we see how the company itself growing themselves, coming from the profit.
All right. So from these three companies, so we are looking at the dividend payout, and then
ratio. Yes.
we already
And the
see the
dividend
dividend yield. And so we also have the beginning. Is this the price
This
beginning?
is beginning of the year.
So this is year to date.
Year to date.
Or is it
this is
year
this
over
is
year?
December. This is 11.
Okay.
So this is last year.
It's YOY. All right.
Yes.
So
year on year.
So for a year, last year is priced
Last year,
at 5,300, and now it's at 4,360.
We see that.
We see a change of minus 17%.
Yes.
Meanwhile, we're seeing a BCA is
And
up 19%, while Mandiri is at 9%. So how does it translate compared to the dividend payout?
We can only from this number we can see that maybe the shareholder investor doesn't really like this big number of dividend payout.
Okay.
Because we expect that the company should hold more of the dividend to increase the business going further, to expand the businesses, to research for their products and development. Yeah, so from that number only, we can see that maybe that is also the reason. But we can also from the earning per share, maybe because of those two other banks, they invest more of their profit to the company.
Okay.
They can generate more money by the end of the year. So we can see that earning per share of BCA and BRI and Mandiri is bigger compared to BRI.
Okay.
So this is also important for the earning per share instead of dividend yield, because I want my company to make as much profit as possible per share of that share that I hold.
All right. So again, you have a note right there, which is business less.
This would be in the BCA.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, this one should be here. Why? People love BCA more because they retain more of their profit.
Okay.
And then their business is more into transaction, right?
It's not depending on
the
credits.
Yes.
All right. So banking wise, we already looking at the DPR. We see the price changes.
Yes.
1 year change net profits. Should we consider on the NPL and the non-performing loans?
Yes.
Or how?
Because in banking business, NPL, of course, it will hit profitability first time. So meaning that lower NPL is better.
Okay.
So we have to see that NPL. NPL is a very important factor. So that is why with less business credit risk for BCA with their transaction and more profit to be retained in the business, of course, people will choose this one.
All right. So this is if we're looking at compounding, then this is what the number works. But again, numbers can change next year, and
of course,
we're gonna see it again, and then it can be it's a whole different story. So again, we don't know how much they're gonna pay out on their dividend this, in 2025. So that can change from year to year when you go compounding. So another example is you have consumer goods. We have
consumer goods,
Mayora, and I'm not familiar with this.
All right. This is one of the player in this industry. So we can see that.
Okay.
Dividend payout ratio, we have to return to that because we know that DPR is how much the company retain the profit for themselves in order for them to grow, right? Well, we can see here, does it make any sense if you share your profit to your shareholder more than what you make? Okay. So you never divide like more than 100% of the profit. So they use their internal cash to add it to the profit and share it to the shareholder, to dividend. Though dividend yield is quite high, right?
Yes.
But then their share performance not that good because people maybe see that, okay, this company is already too big, and then maybe there is no more room for growth for them. So that is why they use internal cash and all of the profit shared to the shareholder in the dividend.
So if we look at this comparison, what recommendation would you give to?
If only seeing this number, this Mayora, they retain more than 50% of their profit to increase further the company.
So we should.
I will choose that. With only 2.01 dividend yield, I only get smaller dividend from this company compared to the money that I invest. But I can rest assured that the company have enough equity to grow further.
All right. So
to expand their business.
So correct me if I'm wrong. So if you actually invested in Mayora or BCA, once you already get your initial, when you already put your initial investment, then you're gonna get a dividend at every years, and then those dividend you put it back to the same company.
That is the first one that I make my investment compounding.
Okay.
But then I also get the compounding effect from the company itself.
From the company itself,
when they retain their income and then put it back to their equity and use that equity to grow their business further. So I have double.
That's gonna benefit us how?
That will benefit us because the company's value will increase.
Okay.
The increasing value of the company reflected in the increasing share price. So I get double benefit investing in stock market. I get from here, reinvesting and compounding, and also get from here, the increase of the share value.
And then why do we need to consider the net profit margin?
This net profit margin of the company. So in the end of the year, how much they make
Yeah, I mean,
profit. Yes.
why do we need to
We
worry
need
about
to see this because if they have positive net profit margin here, we can rest assured that they make money to grow their business further, that they make money to share to us
Now,
as shareholders.
if I look at the net profit margin, Unilever is actually doing better than Mayora
Yes.
right now. So what?
So the
what's-
question is,
right.
even though they make better margin here, but then they share everything to their shareholder and even use their internal cash. Add
You
internal
actually
cash to
pay
the,
out
yes,
for
to the
dividends.
shareholders.
All right, so we should be questioning if a company is sharing too much on their.
That will depend on the strategy then.
Okay.
Is your strategy only asking for what happened?
Yeah.
Okay. Is your strategy only asking for the dividend only?
Okay.
If so, maybe the Unilever one that share more than their profit will be the correct choice.
Okay.
But then if your strategy is other than getting the dividend, you also want the company to grow further, then you have to pick the one with better retained earning.
But if you're talking about compounding,
Yes.
what should we consider, the dividend itself or the company itself?
Both.
Okay.
The growth of the company and also the dividend.
All
We
right.
have to consider that because we want our stock price to grow further, right, in the future.
Right. Great.
That is the key of the compounding.
So not just looking at the dividend, but we also want to see have the company that actually growing, that way we
Yes.
can reinvest it over and over again.
That is how our money works for us.
All right, Mas Dani, thank you so much for sharing about compounding. And then there was our conversation on compounding reinvesting for maximum growth. For Today Business Talk, you can stay connected with us on Instagram, X, and YouTube. Our handle at CToday News. We're also available online at ctodaynews.com.